Hi there, welcome to this restorative yoga class for if you're trying to conceive. So just make sure that you've got somewhere calm and quiet to do this practice in. You'll need either a yoga mat and a big pile of cushions. Yoga bolsters are brilliant. You might need a blanket if you're in a cooler house. I would have a blanket anyway. And turn off your mobile phone if you can, and set aside this time just for you. Okay, so we're going to start off today lying down, and we're going to be focusing on the breath and allowing the body to just totally relax, integrating the breath with body movement and trying to stimulate movement in the pelvis, getting the blood flow and the energy into the pelvic area. So trying to optimize and harmonize your hormonal system. So what we'll need to do, oh, there's a funny thing on my screen. Hello, Emma. So just make yourself comfortable. We're going to start off today lying down, and make sure you have something to go underneath your knees and a blanket. As you can see, I have a lovely bolster here, which is great in the studio here, but you might have to deconstruct your sofa for this. So you just want a nice, comfortable rest underneath the knees so that the back can lengthen. And you can have your hands just resting above your pubic bone, and pop a blanket on to keep yourself warm. And whilst you get yourself sorted there, lying down, drawing the shoulders down and away from your ears, and lengthening the lower back. And so just feeling that the spine from head to toe is lengthening and the shoulders are widening. And you're just going to place your hands just above the pubic bone. You can close your eyes if you wish, or just have a nice soft gaze if you don't feel like you can close your eyes. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose and let your out breath go through the mouth with a big sigh. And take a few sighs, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And allowing yourself to really let go. And there we go. So as you take a breath in, you're going to take a breath deep down to where your hands are lying, and feel the warmth of your hands against your belly. So the hands are resting on your belly, on your lower abdomen. You can feel the warmth there. If you find your elbows lifting off the ground, just pop something underneath them so that you can really relax the shoulders. Each breath in travels down to your hands. We can feel the warmth against your lower belly. And each breath out relaxes you. So softening the jaw, softening all the muscles of your face, Allowing your shoulders to release and letting go of any gripping in your belly. With each breath in, take your awareness and your breath right down to where your hands are. And with each breath out, let go a little bit more than the last out breath. And so your hands are lying just above your pubic bone, which is where your womb space is. And you can feel the warmth close around your womb space, underneath your hands. And take a moment to connect in with your womb space, that place of creativity. Noticing how you feel as you do this, what any sensations or any thoughts that come to your mind. And just continue breathing in down to the womb space, breathing out, softening, and allowing the arms to be heavy and the legs to be heavy. Allowing the back to sink down into the ground. So we're really letting go of your day and letting go of anything outside of this moment. Put aside all your thoughts of the future and use the breath as a way of connecting to the here and now. I'm going to try and breathe fully and completely. So with each breath in, you take the breath and your awareness down to the womb space below your hands and feel your body expanding with that breath in as the lungs expand. As you breathe out and your lungs are empty of air, you'll feel a sense of drawing in, of contraction. So we're trying to breathe fully and completely. Breathing in down to your womb space, perhaps feeling a sense of expansion into the belly and the rib cage out to the side and into the chest. And breathe out fully and completely. Keep taking these full and complete breaths and allowing yourself this time to rest, to connect with the breath, and to connect with yourself. There's nothing else to do but be here at this moment. So breathing fully and completely through the nostrils if possible, and that nose breathing, unless you have a blocked up nose, will also help the systems of your body to function optimally. And it's best not to breathe through the mouth if you can. And so with the awareness underneath your hands as you breathe in and as you breathe out, we're going to start to move the arms. And if you want to, and it feels comfy, you could have Yoni Mudra, which is the thumbs together and the fingertips, your index fingers together, and you just place that over the belly. So Yoni is the womb space, so you're just directing all the energy there. And when you want to take a breath in, we're just going to lift the arms gently up. Lifting them up, you can keep your and just take them up behind the head. And at that point where your shoulders might groan, you're just going to separate the hands. And on your exhalation, coming back, the thumbs and the index finger join again. And you bring them back to rest on the belly. So we're moving quite slowly working with the breath. And if you do have your eyes open, you'll notice that your yoni mudra actually mirrors the shape of the womb or your yoni. So breathing in, as you breathe in fully and completely, separate the arms if your shoulders are uncomfortable. And as you breathe out, just gently bringing the thumb and the index finger back together to rest on the lower abdomen. And now as you take your arms up behind the head, if it feels okay for you, you could keep them rested up behind the head. So if you find your elbows and your shoulders are a little bit stiff and they're floating in the air, this isn't helpful. So you want to take the arms wider so that you can truly rest shoulders, elbows, wrists on the ground. And again, we're breathing in down to the pubic bone, down to the womb space, feeling the expansion of your rib cage and the breath right into the chest. Feel the expansion of the chest and your shoulders, and breathe out fully and completely to rest the weight of your shoulders into the ground. So a big breath into the womb space, the rib cage and the chest. Exhaling to truly relax the weight of the shoulders and the hips into the ground. So we're trying to let go of any gripping, especially in the pelvis, and allowing the muscles of the pelvis, the tendons, the ligaments to release. So there's no gripping, no holding. Breathing fully and completely. And we'll just take 2 more big breaths here. When you've taken your 2 full big breaths, on an in-breath, just bring the hands back together into Yoni Mudra, or just bring them straight back together, and then on your out-breath, releasing back to the lower abdomen. You can then relax totally. We're going to take out whatever you've got underneath your knees and push them away. So we want to free up the pelvis and all the muscles and ligaments there. We're going to have, you want to feel that your pelvis is in a neutral position and the knees are bent, your heels are in line with your hips. And we're going to, you can have your fingers on your hips if you wish. So just so they're not rocking around. And we're going to lift the left foot off the ground, and we're just going to start to circle the knee, or the movement is coming from the hip. So we want to feel that the pelvic muscles are controlling this, that we're not rocking around. So we're just circling from the hip one way, very slowly, and then circling the other way. If you find that there's a lot of movement there in the hips themselves, or the pelvis is rocking, then just try smaller movements. You'll have a sense of your control is being done by your pelvic floor and those deep abdominals. So once you've done both directions, just bring the side of that left leg to rest on the ground. So the knee is bent, and we're going to try and release this left hip a little bit more. So you can keep the right foot where it is, or you can lift the right foot off the ground, and you might hold on to the right knee or bring the hand to the back of the right knee. And you can play around with where the left foot wants to be. So it might be slightly further away from you. It might creep over to the edge of the mat, or you're just finding a spot which is not too comfy, but not too easy. And we're just going to breathe and allow the hip to totally release. Imagine your breath traveling right down into the pelvis. So it's generating lots of energy as you release the hip. And any gripping is releasing. You're breathing in fully and completely. Breathing out and go any gripping in the belly. Lovely, well done. And when you're ready, you can bring the right foot back down to the ground. And if you need to, just gently ease that left knee back up. Okay, so if it feels like you need to, just circle the pelvis round. So the bowl of the pelvis is moving around in a circle. Lovely, and around in the other direction. And then come back to a neutral position. So again, you can have fingertips on your hips if you wish, and we'll lift the right foot off the ground now. So circling the right leg, trying to keep the pelvis grounded. And so if you find you're wobbly again, you're going to make these circles slightly smaller. Okay, we'll go around the other way. And you're tuning into the pelvic muscles and allowing the pelvic muscles within the pelvis to do the controlling, those very, very deep abdominals. Again, once you've done both directions, just let the right knee fall out to the side, and you can keep that left foot where it is if you wish, just depending on what you're experiencing and what it feels like. If you want to lift the left foot off the ground, just take hold of the knee or behind the knee, whatever feels comfy for you. And we're letting go of any gripping in that right hip. Adjust the foot if you need to, away from you, or wherever you find that sweet spot. And focus on the breath. We're breathing in, down into the pelvis, down into that right hip. And trying to let go of any gripping on your out breath. So breathing fully and completely. And especially trying to release as you exhale. Brilliant. Now, let's, at the end of an out breath, we'll just rest that left foot back down on the ground. Ease the right knee back up. If you need to, bring the knees into the chest. drawing them in, just lengthening out your glutes. And here you can maybe just have a little rock around in a circle, keeping the legs together for a moment. Round one way and round the other. So you can see a lot of the things that we're doing are to free around the pelvis. So it's all the muscles that join or go through the pelvis, which connect into the lower back and the legs. We're trying to soften and release. Okay, now with your hands on your knees, we're going to keep the toes together and we're going to take a breath in. As you exhale, push your knees away, keeping the toes together. On your inhalation, circle the knees out to the side and round in towards you. Exhaling, pushing the knees away, keeping the toes together. So we're moving with the breath. Out and round in towards you as you inhale, exhaling, pushing away, keeping the toes together. Just moving with the breath. Being aware of any sensations as you do this. Any thoughts that come up. As you exhale and push away from you, on your inhalation, bring the knees in towards the chest. Exhaling away from you. Inhaling towards you. And so we've just changed direction. And if you find breathing like this gets you muddled, then just make sure that you're breathing fully and completely. Whether you do it with me in the exact manner I say to do it, it doesn't matter. We just want to keep breathing and keep breathing with awareness, breathing fully and completely so that you can relax. The moment that something annoys you or you feel that you're doing it wrong, and that is when we don't relax and tension will build. So as you come back to the end of your out breath, we'll release the feet down to the floor again. And with the legs together still, we're going to let the knees fall out to the side. And we're going to take the arms out to the side. And so the soles of the feet are together. Now, if you find that this is too in your groin area, then what you can do is pop some cushioning underneath your knees each side. Okay, so you can have the feet further away from you, which will also release a little bit more. And just experiment where you want the feet to be. So we'll get more of a stretch in the inner thighs if you have the feet closer towards you. And you'll get less of a stretch in the inner thighs, having them further away, and more of an opening in the glutes. So just see how that feels and where you get to. Support if needed. And with the arms out to the side again, we're going to breathe in down to the pubic bone. Fill up the lungs fully and completely, so you're expanding into the heart space. And breathing out, releasing the hips, releasing the shoulders. Breathing in down to your womb space. And filling up the lungs fully and completely. We'll take 3 more breaths there. When you've finished all 3 breaths, then we'll bring the hands back down. Ease your knees back up if you need to. And again, knees into the chest, lengthening the lower back. Brilliant. So we've got our last posture on our back. And all of the postures which are on our back, just a really, really busy or stressful and busy day. Being on the floor can be grounding, and when you're working with the breath, you get that double whammy of relaxation, but also you feel like you're doing something. And so we'll, you might need a cushion in between your knees now. So just have a cushion pressing in between the knees. So this is a little bit of a strengthener. The heels are in front of your bottom again. And again, we're working with the breath. As you breathe in and out, just establish that lovely full and complete breath. We're going to be tilting the pelvis and moving from a pelvic tilt with the breath into a 2-foot support. So we're lifting the hips up. On your in-breath, you're going to start to tilt the pelvis away from you. So your hips are moving down and away. Your tailbone is coming towards the floor and you're arching the back a little. As you exhale, fully and completely, gently tilt the pelvis so the tailbone is lifting up and the pelvis is tilting towards you, and it's as if you're flattening the lower back into the ground. Breathing in to tilt away, moving the hips away from you, slightly arching the back, and exhaling, tilting the pelvis towards you. Now, as we do this, we're going to try and become aware of whether you're engaging or using your buttocks, your bottom muscles, your glutes, and whether you're using your belly muscles. So we want to be moving the pelvis with the pelvic muscles, so with a sense that you're moving the pelvis from within. So we want to try and soften the bottom and to soften the belly, so you're just not tensing deep in the belly. So if you can, try and release the glutes, release the abdominals, and just allow the hips to move, or the pelvis to move with the pelvic muscles. And you might have a sense that your pelvic muscles, your pelvic floor is engaging. Lovely. Now we're going to move on from here, and we're going to start to gently press into the feet. So you'll be breathing in to tilt the pelvis away. And when you breathe out and start to tilt the pelvis towards you again, press into the feet and keep the tailbone curling up. So we're lifting the hips up. As you inhale, fully and completely, we're curling vertebra by vertebra down and tilting the pelvis away. On your exhalation, as you tilt the pelvis towards you, you're gently pressing into the feet, into the floor, and curling up, lifting the hips. Inhaling fully and completely and curling down vertebra by vertebra, tilting the pelvis away. So this might feel quite counterintuitive, but we're working with our bodies. And again, just lifting up, you can come up a few inches off the ground. And once you've done it a few times, you might find that you want to stay lifted. So concentrating on the in, out breath. Sorry, when you lift up, you want nice steady hips and you're pressing into the feet downwards. You're pushing the knees away from you whilst keeping the thighs pressing together. We're breathing, keep breathing fully and completely. No gritting of the teeth. And maybe just separate the teeth. Keep breathing fully and completely. Because anytime you grit your teeth, then this tenses up the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, and all the way down to tensing your pelvic floor and cervix. When you're ready, just curl back down when you've had enough. So vertebra by vertebra. And then when you come down, I would just have a little circle of the pelvis once more. So round one way and round the other. And of course, it feels a little bit different with something in between your knees. But we're just stimulating those micro movements in the sacrum, in the pelvis. So it's easing out your lower back and your hip flexors, all the pelvic floor, pelvic muscles, and that will have a knock-on effect on the rest of your body. Brilliant. Now let's just turn onto our left side. And we're going to place something under your head so you're supported and your neck is in line with the rest of your spine. We're going to keep the knees bent so you're really supported, and we're going to just reach the arms out in front of us. Okay, so it may be that you need another cushion on the other side to go underneath this right arm, because we're coming into a full twist and we're going to focus on the breath. So whenever you're ready, lift the right arm up towards the ceiling, take it back behind you as far as it will go. Hopefully it will reach the ground, but if you do find that it's a way off the ground, you just need to put some support under the cushion or a couple of cushions. You can reach into the left fingertips and have a little slight lift of the left shoulder if you want to. And then when you're comfortable, take some deep breaths once more. Inhaling down into the pelvis, feeling that full and complete breath into the rib cage and up into your heart space. Breathing out, drop the weight into your shoulders. So some nice deep breaths. Breathing fully and completely. Noticing any sensations in your body as you do this, any areas of tension, and trying to release with each out breath. So you can explore where the head wants to go. You might find it wants to be over to the left, or you might find you can turn it over to the right. It really just depends how your neck is feeling. When you're ready at the end of an out breath, just lifting that right arm back up and over. Lovely, well done. And we're just going to go on to our other side. So if you lie down on your right side, I'll just check. Someone hasn't sent a message. No. So lying on your right side and support your head exactly the same. And have a cushion handy behind you. If you need it, bend the knees and the arms out or in front. So make sure your head is lifted enough so the neck is in line with your spine. And we'll just lift that left arm up and over. And rest it on cushioning if you need to. And again, just tuning into the breath. We're inhaling right down to the womb space, down to the pubic bone, and imagining the breath nourishing the pelvic area, the womb, the ovaries, and bring your awareness up into the heart space. Exhaling to release and relax the weight of your body into the earth. So breathing fully and completely and with awareness. Excuse me. Lovely, big, deep breaths down into the womb space. At the end of an out breath, we're just going to lift that left arm up and over. Take a moment on your side just to notice how you're feeling right now. And then when you're ready, just press into the floor to lift yourself up. Okay, so we're going to bring the soles of the feet together again, and you might want to sit on a cushion. So this will give you a little bit of height, and if you suffer from lower back ache, then this will just help to sit you upright so that your spine feels a little bit more comfortable and your shoulders are not rounding forwards, so that you can sit right up. If we reach forwards, taking a breath in, we're going to reach up and just bring the hands to rest on the floor behind you. Okay, if this position isn't too comfortable for you in the legs, you can just straighten the legs out. That's no problem. We're going to inhale to lift the chin up to the ceiling and open up the heart space. And as you exhale through the mouth, bring the chin to your chest. So it might be, as we do this, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. You might find you can actually make a fist behind your back on the floor if your shoulders are a little bit more flexible. If they're feeling stiff, keep the hand. Right. Just inhaling, lifting up the chin, opening the heart space, exhaling, chin to chest. You can be quite noisy if you like. I'm just releasing the mouth. If you want to be louder, you can. Brilliant. At the end of an out breath, we will sit ourselves up. And we're going to make sure so if you've had your feet like this for a while, you might just want to give them a little shake in and out. This position with the feet together is amazing for blood flow and the circulation in the pelvis. It's helpful for the energy, to generate energy in this area. So we're going to be working with the energy of the heart and the womb space at the same time. So again, if in this position you need support, pop cushions underneath your knees. You can have at least 2 hand distances between you and your feet. Press the heels together and the balls of the feet. So on an in-breath, we're just going to press the feet together, and we're going to try and lift the heart, but relax the shoulders. And as you exhale, we're going to bring the chin into your chest. We're going to round the back, and you'll feel the pelvis rounding too, and a sense of strength in your pelvic muscles, the pelvic floor. On the in-breath, sitting up onto your sitting bones, lifting the heart. And exhaling to round the back, bringing the chin in. A sense of drawing up of the pelvic muscles, and then releasing on the in-breath. We're breathing fully and completely through the nose, and taking your awareness from the heart space as you breathe in, lifting and opening. On the out-breath, taking your awareness down to your womb space, generating energy, sending loving feelings from your heart down to the womb space and the ovaries, the pelvic floor. Lovely. So if you need to change and have a stretch out at any time, then do. At the top of your in-breath, we're going to exhale round to the left and forwards and round to the right. And as you inhale, you'll be moving backwards in your circle, pressing the feet together. And on your out breath, coming forwards in your circle. We're trying to keep a nice tall spine as we circle around, using the tailbone as the center of your circle. So breathing fully and completely and noticing any sensations in the pelvis. It might be that you have tightness somewhere, but if you have any agitation, you can notice that too. And then at the end of your out breath, just change direction as you breathe in, moving for half the circle, breathing out, moving for the other circle. You can close your eyes and just sense your way into this, moving slowly with your full and complete breath. Lovely. Well done. That's brilliant. And so as you get to the end of your out breath, we can stretch the legs out and just externally and internally rotating. Okay, if it feels comfortable for you to sit in a cross-legged position, and do, sitting on a cushion, or you could kneel up, that's equally fine. We're going to practice some mudras, which are hand gestures. They try to bring the energy into a certain area. So we're going to start off with the palms and the fingertips together and the elbows low. And we're going to take a breath in here into the heart space. Exhaling down into the hips. Now slide your left hand onto the heart and bring your right hand down to your womb space. Just going to inhale to the heart, feeling the warmth of your hand there, and exhale your awareness down to your right hand, down to your womb space. This is about connecting heart to womb, heart to reproductive area, heart to your center of creativity. Breathing fully and completely and connecting, creating a circle. It's a circle of love. You inhale into your heart space with all your awareness at your left hand and deep inside your chest at your heart. And you're exhaling your awareness down to your womb space. To the right hand, feeling the warmth deep inside. On your in-breath, return your awareness to your heart. So you create a circle. It's a circle of love and awareness, energy and breath. Heart to womb, womb to heart. Lovely. Whenever you're ready to, as you breathe in, we can bring both hands together at your heart. And as you breathe out, we're going to turn the fingers to point down and bring the thumbs together in Yoni Mudra. Elbows are out to the side. At the end of your out breath, hands resting at the tip of the pubic, but bring the hands back together and back up. Being fully and completely and reinforcing a heart-womb connection. Sending loving kindness, gratitude down to your womb space, your center of creativity. And even though that might feel alien to you, maybe just try, if you can't conjure up those loving feelings, just start off gradually with just feeling the warmth and taking your awareness from one place to the other. The love and compassion for yourself will come, is coming. It's in the process of being cultivated. Lovely. And then whenever you're ready, you can finish at the end of your out breath or at the end of and just breathe steadily. Okay, so we're going to move on with a restorative posture. We're going to be using a wall, and if you don't have a wall, you can use a sofa or a chair. If you're doing this on catch-up, you can pause and sort of kick yourself out. So you might want to have a blanket handy for this one and a cushion up against the wall. Now, if you are bleeding at the moment, then you might not want to do this. You might just want to rest. And this is a very simple inversion, which means going upside down. But you might not want to be on a cushion, especially if you're bleeding. It's up to you whether you have the feet, the bottom on the floor. And with the cushion, the blanket, So this is going to make it really nice and cozy. And this is a really fabulous posture for if you're feeling quite anxious and you just need to calm down. So you're going to spread out your blanket. And okay, so you may or you may not have the cushion there. And you may or may not have the wall there. You might have a sofa to put your legs up. It's really just elevating the legs. So we're getting in really close to the wall and then coming down, swinging the legs up. Okay, so we want to be super close in. Anything more than a couple of inches is not going to be good enough. Now the reason we've got our blanket here is so that we can bring it down and you can pop it over your eyes, you can snuggle it in around you, you can wrap yourself up in it so that you feel contained. And it's lovely to have the arms out to the side a little so that you can breathe into heart space again. So I've got my legs straight up the wall and I'm just going to focus on and breathe into the womb space. Feel the expansion in the rib cage and up into the heart. Breathe out fully and completely, dropping the weight into the ground. So it's especially lovely covering your eyes up and cocooning yourself, containing yourself and just calming the systems of the body. Taking those deep breaths. You might even have your arms up behind the head if that feels comfy. So if there's any tingly sensations in your feet, you might just want to have a little gentle movement of the toes to keep the blood pumping up there. If you haven't got socks on, I would encourage lovely big warm socks and lots of layers. Okay. Get some nice deep breaths. Breathing fully and completely in. The whole of the front of everything, the pelvis, the muscles, the ligaments, and just allowing the pelvic area to rest, allowing the lower back to rest, and just allow the softness to flow through your body. Now, if you'd quite like to change your leg position, it can be really nice to just bring the soles of the feet together and allow the weight of gravity to bring the feet down. Of course, if you're using a sofa or a bed, you would have the knees propped up and cushions underneath the knees so that and you probably wouldn't be able to do the feet together, but you can play around and see how that is. If you're doing this on catch up, you could pause and hold this position for a good few minutes. We're going to take 3 more full and complete breaths. And at the end of your 3 full and complete breaths, don't be in a rush to move quickly. I'm going to gently roll onto one side. You can spend a moment there. We want to, and we're going to come back to posture. You might want shoulders just to lift up over. A nice blanket can help, and perhaps something onto your head. So we're going to have a little for the purposes of this. We're going to be in it for 5 minutes, but at which point you can just stay there for as long as you want to be there. So the recording will just end, and you can already dim and create a really nice atmosphere. And cover your eyes up, the knees up, and what I'm doing with my blanket. I'm just showing you how this might be. So I'm resting my head. I'm just drawing my shoulders down and away from your ears. You might have the cushions so that you can bring the soles of the feet together and have the knees slightly wider. Or you might just drape the legs over the bolster or whatever cushions you've got. Wrap yourself up and close your eyes. And again, if you want to, you can cover your eyes. And into the breath. If you want, that's fine. And just feel the warmth over your womb space and connecting in with that energy. You might like to take a big deep breath in through the nose and let your out breath go through the mouth with a big sigh. Letting go. Take 3 big sighs or more if you need to. Feeling your whole body soften and release. Continuing to be aware of each and every breath. Noticing when the breath starts, the in-breath, and just following your awareness to the end of your in-breath. Notice when it finishes, and notice when your out-breath starts, and follow your out-breath all the way to its end. We'll continue just being aware of your breath until it becomes normal, natural, and just flows. You follow your in-breath and you follow your out-breath. And now we're just going to follow the out breath. And with each out breath, feeling your body soften a little bit more. From the crown of the head, exhale and soften the forehead and the temples. Feel the softness flowing through your body as you release even more. Exhaling, softening the cheeks, the eye sockets, the nose, the nostrils, the upper lip, the bottom lip. Releasing the jaw and allowing the teeth to be slightly apart. Exhaling and feeling your head is super heavy and the eyes are sinking back in their sockets. Exhaling and feeling the shoulders widening and that softness flowing down the back, releasing all the muscles either side of the spine, from the shoulders all the way down to your tailbone. Exhaling and releasing the muscles in the chest, the breasts, the upper belly and the lower belly. Exhaling, your arms are heavy from the shoulders down to the fingertips, sinking heavy into the ground. Exhaling and releasing your pelvic muscles, the ligaments, the tendons. Every part of your pelvis is heavy. Exhaling and releasing the legs from the hips all the way down to the toes. Each exhalation relaxes you even more. And now, going to imagine as you breathe in that a sense of light and healing energy enters in through the nostrils, travels down to your heart, and as you exhale, it filters down into your pelvis, down into your womb space. You draw in that energy and light on the in-breath, gathering at your heart, exhaling as it flows down into the womb space, lighting it up. Imagine the light flowing in and down into your womb space, lighting up all the corners, all the nooks and crannies, and just feel it like a seed. It's spreading out. You can send that light down into your womb space and then feel it moving outwards into your fallopian tubes and into your ovaries, and imagining that that light, that healing energy, that vitality is spreading through, clearing, cleansing, and filling you with that great sense of vitality. So you might stick with just the womb space and the ovaries and the fallopian tubes, or you might feel that you can spread out that energy and you can push it forwards into the front of your pelvis. Push it downwards into the pelvic muscles, the layers of muscle inside your bony pelvis, down into the vagina and to the vulva. You can feel it going into the bowel, the bladder. Feel it pushing out this beautiful white light, this cleansing energy and vitality, pushing into the whole of your pelvic area. You might focus on just the pelvis, or you might spread it out further into your lower back. Drawing in energy with each breath in into the heart and filter it down, spreading out. Feel it radiating out through that whole central part of your body, from your heart down into that central part of your body. Everything is soft and relaxed. You might filter it out further to fill your whole body, down into the legs, up into your abdomen and the chest and the arms and the head. Or you can just keep it in that middle part. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to slowly take 5 more full and complete breaths. When you've completed all 5 breaths, then we'll just bring our awareness back into the body. If you're doing this on catch up, feel free to stay longer and just rest. But we'll just bring the awareness back into the body, feeling the ground beneath you, feeling the blanket on top of you. And we'll just start to bring some movement back into fingers and toes, whilst simultaneously listening to the sounds around you, the sounds of the room that you're in, the sounds of the building that you're in, and the sounds of the wider world. Once you feel fully aware of all the sounds around you, then we can just have more of a